system crashed.
Oh.
I'm just gonna walk around for a minute.
Yeah. Ugh. I mean, I don't know how long it'll be.
Yeah.
Tonight on Cronkite News, airport workers at Phoenix Sky Harbor walked out on strike. What this means for the airport and the workers.
Plus, the annual homeless count begins. Why determining the number of people experiencing homelessness in Maricopa County is important.
And the Final Four is coming to the Valley this spring. How the community is preparing for the event. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Marnie Jordan.
And I'm Jesse Broaders. Thanks for joining us.
SSP America workers subcontracted by Sky Harbor Airport are on strike.
They say federal labor laws continue to be broken. I had a feeling we were. Yep.
Oh, like
Tonight on Cronkite News, airport workers at Phoenix Sky Harbor walked out on strike. What this means for the airport and the workers.
Plus, the annual homeless count begins. Why determining the number of people experiencing homelessness in Maricopa County is important.
And the Final Four is coming to the Valley this spring. How the community is preparing for the event. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Marnie Jordan.
And I'm Jesse Broaders. Thank you for joining us.
SSP America workers subcontracted by Sky Harbor Airport are on strike.
They say federal labor laws continue to be broken. Cronkite News reporter Roxanne De La Rosa tells us how this is impacting them.
they're asking for change. Some are unable to pay their rent and they feel like they are not being heard. This morning, workers gathered in protest at Sky Harbor Airport. They're asking for safer working conditions. Some of them say they are not being paid on time.
I'm struggling and I work a full-time job, you know? And it's hard to ask for help because it's kind of like demeaning a little bit.
Just trying to improve the overall situation for the workers at the airport. I feel like they've been kind of overshadowed by a lot of other things going on. Training and safety issues have been just rampant throughout.
In a statement, a representative from Sky Harbor says, "We continue to work with SSP America to minimize impacts to our passengers." SSP America is one of many vendors that run and staff the more than 100 restaurants, shops, and services at Phoenix Sky Harbor. Contacted SSP America for a statement. and they have not responded at this time. In the newsroom, Roxanne de la Rosa, Cronkite News.
Sky Harbor announced that Air France will provide nonstop flights from Phoenix to Paris starting in late May.
But as Athena Kehoe tells us, this is just the latest in the expansion of international travel out of the airport.
Sky Harbor says they currently have flights to 26 international destinations, and these international flights add about $3.4 billion to the local economy each year, according to the airport's most recent economic impact study. Travelers can already jump on nonstop flights to Europe, to London, Frankfurt, and starting in May, Paris. Other popular international flights out of Phoenix include San Jose Cabo, with 5 direct flights every day. The trip to Paris is going to cost you about $1,700 round trip, and the city of Phoenix anticipates all those flights to France will add a $30 million annual economic impact. Mayor Kate Gallego and council members who attended a press conference yesterday all agreed that the increased travel options help with global economic ties, which is good for the city overall. According to the FAA, Phoenix ranks number 12 in U.S. busiest airports, right behind Seattle International Airport. In the newsroom, Athena Kehoe, Cronkite News.
International travel isn't the only thing becoming easier for Phoenix residents.
Soon, so could the drive from Phoenix to Tucson. That's thanks to a federal grant to expand the I-10. The grant helping expand a 26-mile stretch of the interstate. It goes through the Gila River Indian community between Chandler and Casa Grande. When the project is finished, the freeway will have 3 lanes in both directions, with hopes that the extra lane will eliminate congestion. It's the only section of the I-10 between Phoenix and Tucson that is still only 2 lanes each way.
Maricopa County's annual point-in-time homeless count took place today. The yearly street and shelter count is conducted as part of a national effort to help identify the extent of homelessness across the U.S. And event coordinators say with rain falling across the valley today, the numbers could be skewed. According to the 2023 point-in-time report, which was conducted exactly 1 year ago today, 9,642 people in Maricopa County were experiencing homelessness. Dozens of volunteers headed out around 5 a.m. this morning to identify count people in areas across the valley. When it comes to this year's numbers, one volunteer says today's storm could impact the count. Where people are choosing to seek shelter makes it harder to locate them.
A little harder to find folks, I think, because people were seeking shelter to stay warm and dry. But regardless of how many folks we saw today, there's still a need there, and there's still folks out on the streets who are unsheltered and in need of services.
Volunteers hope the data they collect yearly will lead to more aid and resources for the homeless population. The numbers this year's count will be released in April.
Might have had a gloomy commute this morning. Let's go to Rishi Oza with the weather forecast for the rest of the week.
Well, unfortunately, it's not going to be for the next couple of days because of all the rain and the precipitation that we've been seeing, and we're not completely out of the woods yet for it, although for the next few hours and for the rest of tonight, we're not going to see it, which personally is a welcome sight, and we're not going to see a ton of change in temperature, although it will be a little bit chilly. Taking a look at our futurecast, like I said, not completely out of the woods yet for the rain. For tomorrow, we should be all good, but for Thursday, we're going to see a little bit, especially in the northern part near Flagstaff, like you just saw there. But by Friday, we should be all clear, and for the weekend, we should be all clear to see some more sun, like you guys were talking about. Going into the low temperatures for tomorrow, Tucson, Tombstone, and Douglas, a lot colder like you see here in the southeast. It's going to be a lot colder than normal. It's going to be really chilly, so if you're going out in the late part in the day or in the early morning, please put on a jacket, bundle up, make sure to stay warm out there. Phoenix is going to be about 50 degrees, same with Yuma, and those are going to be normally around where we're going to be seeing the low temperatures for the rest of the week. But as we get into these high temperatures, you're going to see it a lot colder than you're used to seeing because of that rain around this time of year. Tombstone, Tucson, and Douglas, they get better, but Phoenix at 64, a little colder than you're used to, so put on a jacket, put on some joggers if you're going outside. Yuma is going to be the high point in state 48 at 70 degrees. As we get into our 8-day forecast, like I said, colder than normal at this time of year, so for the next few days, you're going to see some rain, going to see some clouds, and you're going to see some lower temperatures than we're used to seeing out there in the mid-60s. But as we get into the weekend, it's going to warm up a lot. You're going to see the sun, you're going to see some high 70s, which is something that I love to see, and it's something that we're so used to seeing out here in these perfect Arizona winters. For the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Rishi Oza.
I'm Paul Schultz.
And I'm Jack Pearson with today's Cronkite Sports Report.
The NCAA Men's Final Four is coming back to Phoenix in less than just 75 days. It's just the latest big sporting event Phoenix has hosted.
Last year, the Super Bowl was held at State Farm Stadium, and of course, Glendale plays host to the Fiesta Bowl every year. Ana de la Cruz joins us from the Sports Bureau now with more on why Arizona has been the hotspot for sports.
I attended a recent Phoenix Business Journal event where local organizing committee members along with ASU men's basketball coach Bobby Hurley talked about what separates Phoenix from other destinations for hosting major sporting events. Within the last year, Arizona has hosted the Super Bowl, the World Series, spring training for 15 Major League Baseball teams, and the NASCAR Championship. Not only do these sporting events bring in hundreds of thousands of fans, they all impact the community in other ways than just making money for the organizations hosting them. Final Four CEO Jay Perry is very familiar with the benefit of these huge national events. She also led the Super Bowl host committee in 2015 and 2023.
The reason that our local businesses, our elected officials, our tribal leadership really is supportive of the Final Four because they see it as a community event. They see it as highly impactful locally. And so there's that real dedication, I think, of spirit of how can we build Arizona around these major events and how can we continue that really positive momentum we have right now.
When tourists visit Arizona, the inviting community, activities, and nice weather play crucial roles in helping them plan their next trip.
The weather, hiking, golfing, all those things, in addition to a great event like the Final Four, is a reason that the Phoenix, Arizona area should be a premier destination for those type of events.
The impact of these events is not just about the tourism benefits, but really it all is showcasing the Grand Canyon State for the future.
You want them to come back here and to live here and to move here and move their businesses here. And people feel that. When you go to a city and people actually, the folks that live there actually want you to be there, there's a very different feeling than if you're in a city where they just kind of tolerate you.
Arizona continues to be a hotspot for major sporting events as it will be welcoming professional pickleball tournaments later this month, spring training in February, plus the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game in July. Phoenix will only continue to host more events as the Final Four will be back after being gone since 2017. In 2017, the event generated $320 million for the city. In the Sports Bureau, Ana de la Cruz, Cronkite News.
The offseason is in full swing for Arizona State head coach Kenny Dillingham, and as he hits the recruiting trail, one goal for the Sun Devil coach is recruiting local high school talent, plus trying to bring back any talent that may have gotten away.
Yeah, Jack, one big win for Dillingham recently is bringing back defensive back Cole Martin, a former Basha High School star who went to Oregon. Dillingham is working the transfer portal one player at a time to turn the tide in Tempe.
Entering his second year at the helm, Dillingham is trying to embrace the new way of recruiting a new lifestyle of college football players. He is hoping to use that to lure homegrown players to ASU. Dillingham knows the success of the program will eventually lead to players wanting to join in and, of course, stop the trend of players leaving.
You're going to want to come back. There's a part of you that wants to want to come back. That's part of it. I've done it. Lived all over the country. He shows it's okay to do it. And I think the more people like that come home and the more people like that come home and have success, there's not much grass that's greener in Tempe, Arizona, right? Unless it's the summertime, right? Then everything's dead, right? You leave, the transfer portal allows you to realize that and come back. And all I want is the ability to get those elite players back on our roster if they do leave and come back.
As the future of Arizona State football is being solidified, Coach Dillingham's commitment to cultivating local talent may be the deciding force to break through the program inside the lines.
The Arizona Coyotes continued their tradition of honoring one of their biggest fans who holds a special place in the club's Ring of Honor, as well as their hearts.
Cronkite News reporter Danny Sullivan skates through the proceedings with more from Tempe.
Showed up to Mountain America Stadium to help raise money for girls youth hockey at the 4th annual Skatin' for Layton fundraiser in memory of Layton Accardo.
I wasn't here when Layton passed, but I know how much she meant to the organization, and obviously you can tell how much she means to the hockey community. So it's really cool to see everybody rally behind the family and continue to do this year after year. It's such a great event.
Participants had the choice to skate the concourse, run the track, or partake in events such as cornhole. Lindsey Fry launched the inaugural event in 2021 as she went on a solo 96-mile journey skating to every single hockey rink in the Greater Valley area.
And we always hoped it would become this, because it's one thing for one person to be out there. It's another for hundreds of people to be supporting the cause and supporting and remembering Leighton. And so it's just so special to see it.
Skate hard, have fun. The message that Leighton Accardo lived by day in and day out as she continues to inspire the past, present, and future of hockey here in Arizona.
For us to be able to provide more opportunities for these girls, you know, the next Olympian could be here in Arizona. So for us to be able to give girls the opportunity to get on the ice is very important to us.
Events like this help make the future of youth hockey brighter, just like Leighton would have hoped for. In Tempe, Danny Sullivan, Cronkite News.
The event raised $28,000 in support of youth girls hockey. The funds will be used for equipment and ice time, amongst other needs.
That's it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to Jesse and Marnie.
That's it for Cronkite News. Thanks for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.